Welcome back everyone to a new video. This is Josh at McDonald Bullion. I hope you're all having a great day. For this video, I'm going to talk about, is it cheaper to buy bullion in the summer months as opposed to the spring and winter? We're going to cover that topic in today's video. And for this video, I'm going to use an article that I have found on the Royal Mint. And it's an article by Stuart O'Reilly, which was updated of August 2023 of last year. So it's not the most up-to-date one. It's sitting nearly a year old now, but I think it applies to the dip that we've recently seen with gold and silver over the last couple of weeks or so. We've seen silver nearing £25 per ounce, and we've seen gold hit an all-time high. I think it was £1,954 off the top of my head. And we've seen the price dip. I think gold is sitting just over £1,800. Silver, I think, is at £23. So I figured it would be a good video to cover the topic of, is it cheaper to buy in summer months? And I'm using an article that I have found from the Royal Mint to discuss with you and tell you really what the Royal Mint thinks, or what Stuart O'Reilly thinks. And if you don't know who Stuart O'Reilly is, he is the market insight manager within precious metals, and he works at the Royal Mint. So let's take a little look and see what he has to say about it. So it first goes on to saying that according to the World Gold Council, since 2010, demand for bars and coins in Europe has on average been significantly lower in the quarter between July and September than in any other quarter. And the pattern may be caused by different factors. Firstly, demand for gold coins can rise in quarterly four, as mints often release their flagship bullion coins ahead of the new year. And then it says, for example, 2024 coins may launch at the end of 2023. So you've got your typical bullion coins, your Britannias and things like that. So the Britannias, when they come out, when they're released for next year in 2025, usually they're released towards the end of 2024. We're yet to see that, but that's usually what happens. So you've got the American Silver Eagles, Britannias, things like that. That's what it applies to. That's what he's talking about. And it mentions that perhaps the most convincing reason for this trend may be found in the old adage, sell away and go away, come back to St. Leger's Day. Conventional wisdom, rightly or wrongly, suggests that stocks and shares may perform weaker in the summer months. So some investors opt to largely not touch their portfolios over the summer months until the markets return to normal in the middle of September. And it talks about the performance being questionable. However, the draws on investors' time and money in the summer, notably summer holidays, and it says keeping children entertained. So it usually, well, it's self-explanatory really. It's also got a graph here saying about the gold bar and coin demand in the yearly quarters. So you can see that in the fourth quarter, which is coming up to the winter months, you can see that the demand is a lot more than compared to quarter three. And it's interesting to see, especially when you think, let's say, round about quarter two, where we're sitting at the moment, heading in towards quarter three in the summer months. It's applicable now, seeming as we're in June. So it's interesting to me to have a little look at and try and cover the topic in, is it cheaper to buy in summer months? Because you will find, if you look at the silver price, I've noticed when I've bought over the last 3 years, I've been buying into precious metals, you do tend to find a bit of a dip in the summer months. And it's interesting to see someone else's take on it, especially the Royal Mint. So when I found this article, I thought it would be a good video to let you guys know and discuss it, really. It mentions about bullion buyers thinking the relative market quietness may present a good opportunity to buy. Because of the spot price and the product premium. Demand for bars and coins is just one factor that affects the gold price, and there's other trends, etc., that affect it as well. The gold price is currently 2% below the average of 2023 so far. Talks about the premium, which covers shipping, marketing, etc. I think that's one of the things that people don't take into consideration when it comes to the premium on physical gold and silver. You imagine that, there's lots of different things that factor into getting the silver and gold to you. You've got the actual refining, minting, shipping costs, marketing. It's stuff that we don't really consider. But for just a few quid, especially gold, I think gold's really cheap option, especially when it's like 14 quid. I suppose you can argue that there is no shipping costs, etc., because people bring gold in, let's say a sovereign, best value sovereigns, so they don't really have to do any of that. It's it takes away that factor, especially with high premium stuff. But it talks about some references, and that's pretty much it, really. It just says the Aztecs believed that gold was the tears of the sun. That's an interesting observation. Does the data suggest that it's time to relink the two and start considering gold in the summer? But it's an interesting observation to sort of consider, especially when we look at the silver price and the gold price. Over the last 3 years, you can take a little look through the months and see where exactly the dips are. Silver is going to be a lot more volatile compared to gold. But I think in my personal journey, when it comes to precious metals, stacking and collecting, I am heading towards the maximum amount of silver that I really want to purchase. I think I have a good amount of silver now. I don't have lots of silver. I've just got a good amount of silver, which if I could liquidate in the future, if it does go back up to $49 an ounce, then I will probably sell and convert to gold. Even if gold goes high as well, it's something that I will probably look to convert eventually. But whilst silver is relatively cheap compared to historic trends and the potential that it has, I will continue to purchase little bits of silver here and there. I've added, I want to say, about 12 ounces of silver this month alone, I think. And in terms of gold, I am very behind on gold. Gold ultimately is much more expensive. And if I just grab this box, I'll let you guys know what I'm going to do. So I have purchased actually I say it's going to be a bit of a challenge. It's not really a challenge. It's something that I have always kind of wanted to do. And hopefully it picks it up on camera. But I've got this little box here. Let me just adjust it. So I've bought this little box off eBay. Someone 3D printed it. It was it was £20. It's not the cheapest one, but this holds 10 cards, 10 assay cards of gold bullion or gold bars or whatever. So if I take the top off it, so you can have a little look, it's quite sturdy. So if I take the plastic off, you can see, if I just put it down, that if I turn it around, it will hold 10 of these assay cards. So let me just move these out of the way. It will hold 10 credit card sized assay cards. And my plan is to try and obtain a bit of gold each month. Now, it is not going to be a sovereign each month because I just simply can't afford a sovereign each month. Sovereigns are £450 worth, but I figured if I can just add a bit of gold to slot in here, maybe a Tavex bullion bar, maybe a best value bar or something, and then add 10 grams of gold, I'll then look to potentially either keep it and do another one, or maybe sell some or sell it all and get a bigger gold piece, maybe save up for a sovereign or something. Ultimately, if I was to obtain 10 grams of gold on today's value, if I was to sell it back at spot, it'd be about £580. So at current, it would be more than enough to get a sovereign. But of course, you've got the premium, and of course, people might say, well, what's the point in doing that if you're just going to sell in a year's time? I'm not saying that's definitely what I'm going to do, but I thought it would be a cool little journey to add 10 different assay cards of gold into this little box and share the journey with you. Maybe I'll get some Tavex, maybe I'll get some PAMP, I don't know. But also, I am looking eventually to get a sovereign. These sovereigns are Tavex bullions. I have to send these back, but these are absolutely fantastic, superb. If you don't have a sovereign, or if you're thinking about getting a sovereign, I highly recommend it. Very low premium, just a few percent. And this, in my opinion, is the best gold coin that you can stack in the UK today. But let me know your thoughts when it comes to it. I hope to share this journey with you when it comes to stacking these 10 pieces of gold, best value gold probably, and completing the box really. I think it'd be really cool to do a bit of a journey, a bit of a video to see what happens. But if you are interested in getting this box, this is a nice little box that you can get off eBay. I think this cost me £20. I can put a little link in the description if you are interested in it. I'm not sponsored or anything, but these are nice little boxes which I struggled to find when it came to looking for storage cases for gold bars and gold coins, especially in assay cards, because assay cards for me, they just hold it and store it a little bit better, as opposed to some of the silver that I keep, which I really just kind of throw in. I don't really mind with silver because capsules I can replace anyway. And ultimately, if silver goes up in price and I achieve a bit of a profit margin when it comes to selling in the future, then, you know, I really don't mind. And bullion coins doesn't really matter so much. It's just the collectability of other coins. Let's say this Geiger gets destroyed, then the premium is going to be in the case mainly itself. But that's not something I want to do, so I want to try and keep it as best as possible. But just to recap a conclusion of today's video, the gold and silver price does tend to rise in spring, and you know, we've seen the quarterlies and the stats and the article. So I'd love to hear your thoughts when it comes to it. Is this something that you consider? It's something that I definitely consider, especially where we're going with the gold and silver price. I do think, in my personal opinion, that we will see a bit of a dip, especially that we've seen a very big high over the last, you know, it's not been this high in over 10 years, I think, when it comes to silver especially, and gold is an all-time high. If you're dollar cost averaging, then it's really not a problem, in my view, but with me, I've got a bit of a limited budget when it comes to buying precious metals. I just purchase what I can afford. You just need to go on your own journey and not compare yourself to others. But you tend to find a bit of a dip, especially from my experience. I found a bit of a dip in the sort of summer months, especially. There is a bit of maybe a sell-off period, or just a period where it's just not as in demand as it is, let's say, at the start of the year or the spring. And it's a really interesting quote that I saw, that I read as well, just off that article. It's something that was actually mentioned. And Luke, if you are watching, that's the very first time I heard that. So it's a really interesting sort of quote that I found. And yeah, let me know about your thoughts with that, with the gold and silver price and your plans. And let me know what you think when it comes to this box, this little, I say challenge, it's not really a challenge, but I thought it would be really cool to do that, to try and get about at least 10 grams of gold, just best value gold, or I might get a sovereign or something in an assay card or something and just put in there. I don't know, but I haven't really worked it out. I would like to fill it up with gold if I can and share that journey with you. And then at the end of the year, perhaps I can show you the profit or loss or whatever. I don't know, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you are interested in becoming a member of the channel for more exclusive content and earlier access to videos and other perks, then I'll leave a link in the description for that. A big shout out to our newest member of the channel. So thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate all the support, even if you don't and you just watch the videos and you just like and comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.